and afterwards we'll talk about other ones. But for now, again, we're focusing on Garmin GPSs. So again, while using GPS, so we see in the forest, you don't have signs telling you where to go. This is what you're going to see in the woods. So how are you going to navigate through the woods? With the GPS. First thing is to learn the terminology that we're going to use. So first one is a waypoint. Waypoint is a location on a map using longitude and latitude. They have certain data. You can give them different symbols, you can give them different numbers, and they, you know, I got my new little, show too much good there. The position noted in the longitude and latitude, and we're going to go into the different formats of that as well. So here's a typical example: the High Point Monument, latitude and longitude. Now, what do those things mean? 3 common position formats: degrees, minutes, seconds; degrees, decimal minutes; and decimal degrees. It's the most common format to mark with maps, but we don't use this one. This is the one that's used mostly for boats and airplane navigation. Degrees and decimal minutes. What we use are decimal degrees. You can see a Garmin BaseCamp example there. The advantages of decimal degrees is that it's able to be printed. You know, a lot of computers don't have the little degree symbol, couldn't read it. Sometimes you'll see different formats of this format using the north or west or plus or minuses, and depending on the program you're using and the device, those pluses and minuses might be reversed. But for this case, for North America, we're living right here. This Garmin BaseCamp example is pretty typical. You're going to have a north and a west longitude and latitude. Okay, so now a route is an ordered group of waypoints. You can take a map and click different points, or if you're riding, you can mark different waypoints, and then through software, BaseCamp or Mapsource, when you upload them, you can connect those waypoints together to create a route. A track is an electronic breadcrumb trail recorded by your device as you're riding. Now you can set the parameters of this recording to be every second, or every 20 feet, or every 50 feet, or every mile, or again, in your device, you have the option of how often do you want to put down a via point, which is not it doesn't have as much information as a waypoint, and it's only used on a track. Any questions so far? Because this is really good. This is the foundation of what we're going to go.
Do you have to tell your GPS to create a track, or is it just do it automatically?
Well, you have to turn on the feature, you know, record.
Is that the trip log?
Yes. Again, and different devices call them different things, but on the Montanas it's record. You know, so they all, again, there's never mind the smartphones and the Magellans and the TomToms. The 100 Magellans all have different menus. Just like you know, if you go to Windows, one Windows program has calls everything one thing, and then the next version calls everything something different. Same thing with GPS. So you gotta. What we try to do is teach you how to use your device. Your Garmin. A lot of times the guys come to like the Barrens 500, and they say, "Here's my GPS. Put the file in." And they think that they have the file, it's going to magically guide them through the woods. Well, you need to know your device, just like your smartphone. You have to learn how it works. So that's what we're doing here.
Oh, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Track points as opposed to waypoints. Do waypoints are the ones that say you reach that point and it'll say something?
That's
where
correct.
track points are more like a.
They're just like a breadcrumb. I went here, I went here, I went here, I went here, I went here.
Can you use track points with the route so that they don't
Well-
announce the name or no?
These days, the difference between routes and tracks are starting to become less different.
Okay.
In Garmin BaseCamp, you can create a track from a route and a route from a
Yes.
track. So it's almost making those two terms go away. Maybe in the future they're going to call it course instead of route or track, because now you have the ability to transfer. So one of the things that we've found over the years is that a lot of the devices have certain memory limitations. For example, can only have 50 waypoints per route or 500 via points per track. So what we had to do is we had to dumb down the route that we were creating to be able to be used by these older devices with less memory and less capacity. With the newer devices, all that's going away. It's kind of like computers now. You know, remember when you could only save everything on a floppy disk and it had to be text? Now you got full screen video on a little chip. Same thing with the GPSs. They're being able to have so much more memory that these limitations are going away with the newer models. But some people still have the older ones, so we try to dumb down the file to be used by older devices.
Is BaseCamp an app in itself?
BaseCamp is a program. An app to me is like a lightweight program used on a phone or not as powerful. BaseCamp is a computer program.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's the best cell phone based?
Okay, we'll go into that later on.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's see, we're good now? Okay, so here's what the via point data looks like in the track properties. You notice the time, the date, the longitude and latitude by position, elevation, and speed. So that's the kind of information that your via points or track points are recording. Any questions?
Can an officer ever use that? Just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
and
So
I'm
click-
sure
click
they
your
have.
log
Give
and
me
you
your
get pulled over?
GPS, yeah.
All right.
Or you could use it as evidence, hey, I wasn't speeding.
That's true.
You know, it goes both ways. So.
Certain parts of the box, like. No, how to erase
No,
it,
it
it's
is.
not.
Okay, so anyway, that's what's also called evidence, yeah, right there. But so now what we do is we cut and paste these points to create sections. Okay, so here's the difference between a route and a track. Notice the red is a route. It's just connecting. It's a little hard to see there, but you can see the little white squares. They're waypoints with the numbers. So the route is just going from point to point. But it wouldn't matter. If there were no trails or roads off of this little twisty road, you were following a waypoint from here to there. Because there's no turns, you just follow the road. And then the road comes in. When a road comes in, we have a waypoint usually right on the other side of it to point your pointer, which I'm going to get to next. Well, let's see. I'm just going to move ahead here to pointers. There we go. See, so if you have the pointer activated and you're following a track or a route, it'll point the way you want to go. So if you're navigating along this track, the pointer's going to start pointing the right direction at supposedly the right time. That's the art of creating a track or a route, that you make it so that it doesn't say turn in 5 feet. You know, because what happens is if you turn in the wrong, if you don't get the notice on time, you blow by the corner, you're going to have to turn around. Somebody else is going to do the same thing and hopefully not T-bone you. So the art of creating these routes is by making that pointer turn at the right time. If you turn a track into a route, it's not as, and you're doing like a 90-degree turn, that pointer's gonna tell you, turn in 10 feet. So that's why sometimes we still do the routes for events, to enable the guys to have enough notice of a turn, right? Okay. All right, I'm gonna go back to where we were here.
What about the only thing I'd say on that is you'll notice that sometimes when something's done, if you're navigating in an off-road mode, the waypoint will actually be farther down the road than not right.
Or in the woods.
Right, like like what he's saying is it won't be right at the intersection where the turn is. It'll be a little bit farther down here. So as you're coming to the intersection, the pointer's doing this. You're like, okay, I'm making a left.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the art of putting the waypoint in the right spot to give you enough notice to turn.
Right. One of my personal preferences against rapid, sometimes I don't like tracks, is you don't get a warning of which way the road's going to turn. And sometimes you're zoomed in too far,
Yeah.
and you don't get to see.
Okay, so now the base maps. This is one of the most important things for off-highway riding, is the map that you're using. Now, some of the older devices have one map, or you can replace the map with a street map or a world map or a topo map. The newer devices have the ability to have all 3 or 4 maps in there, and you can turn on the one you want to use. So the topo base maps include, topographical information, contours, lakes, rivers, streams. This is a free map, Boyd's Core of the Pinelands. There's a website, GPS Depot, where you can download free maps. Now, they're not routable, but they're very accurate and good for navigating. Here's another one. This is a sample of the Garmin 24K topo maps. Now, these are the maps that, again, I'm prejudiced. I like the Garmin, I like the Montanas. But it's because it works, and it's almost like a standard for other events that I've been to. These Garmin 24K topo maps are what's called routable. They're the same thing as a street map, where you can say, take me to Lucille's, and it'll route you through the dirt roads in the woods. Whereas a Nuvi, a Garmin street GPS, if you're in the woods, you're going to say, take me to Lucille's, it's going to point you through the trees, because it doesn't have those roads in there, and those roads are not routable on that device. If you get out to the highway, it'll route you there, but in the woods it won't. So the Garmin 24K topos have the highest resolution. They have most of the legal dirt roads on them, and they're routable. They can get you where you want to go. Good.
This same topo map on a Nuvi won't do the same as it will on that.
Some of the Nuvies, you may be able to load them, but I don't know.
It's totally hit or miss on new.
Yeah. We don't like the Nuvies, just saying. And the BMW ones we don't like either.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. They just, at Barrens, at the Grand Canyon 300, the only ones we had trouble with were the BMW Navigators. Well, it turns out that the reason it took so long is because it had to upload all the data from the GPS before you could download. So anyway.
One of the things that he's talking about, that why a cell phone GPS using standard commercial maps, I've noticed, I'll usually, when I'm proving routes, I'll run 2 GPSs, and one of them I'll use old maps. I don't update the maps. And I started noticing in the Pine Barrens that, especially on Google Maps, you've got an intersection that exists. It's really there. And the main road is here, the side road is here. These are both dirt roads. They've gone in now, and they've truncated that road. And so it's in by one of the feed strips. You can see it in Google.
Oh, it just ends.
It just ends. But in real life, it's there. But the reason why they did that on the cell phone map is to stop it from routing somebody from over there on Route 206 in Tabernacle to somewhere in Tuckerton through the Pine Barrens. So you just have to watch out sometimes, do a map recon, use your GPS.
Okay, so the other thing with these Garmin maps, the 100K topo maps are lower resolution and they're not routable. So if you buy the Garmin Montana 600, it comes with no maps. If you buy the Garmin Montana 300T, it comes with the 100K topo maps, which stink. So you can download the 24K maps onto a chip. You can download them onto a file, or you can buy the DVD. If you buy the DVD, it's shareable. You can copy that file and give it to anybody. But if you do it through a download, either by a chip or a download, it's married to the device that you downloaded it to, just so you know. Any questions on the maps?
Just, Joe, how large is the Pine Barrens in square miles?
1 million acres.
It's ridiculous huge that you should be allowed to drive in this thing. In this
Where it's one of the blessings we have here. I'm telling you, there's very few places where you actually can have a real adventure ride on the East Coast. Pine Barrens is one of them. Pennsylvania has a lot, you know, Wellsboro, Bald Eagle, Virginia, West Virginia. But anyway, you live in New York State, there's not much. You know, North Jersey, nothing. Maryland, very little. You know, so again, it's a blessing that we have it. Like our slogan is "Real adventure is closer than you think." You know, you can go down to 45 minutes from here, pick up 500 miles of dirt. You know, that's we love it. Okay, so the street-based maps don't have any of that topographical information, but they will have businesses, addresses, points of interest, that kind of thing. And they are routable also. But they do not contain the dirt roads. For example, most of the roads in the Pine Barrens 500 are not on the street maps. Okay, so creating routes and waypoints. You can use a different software, Garmin, Mapsource, BaseCamp, Google Earth. We're starting to, again, I'm going to touch on this now, and we'll talk about it more later, but we are starting to see some smartphone apps that are okay, that are proven to work, seem to be pretty good. Doc, you turned me on to Pocket Earth. That works. And what's cool about it is you can download the maps onto your phone, so you don't need the cell connection for it to work. Most of the phones these days have a built-in GPS, so you can use them. We personally don't like using the smartphone because one, this is $700. I don't want to have $700 floating around there. The other thing, if I'm navigating and my wife calls, all of a sudden I'm looking at her face instead of navigating. 3, if I crashed and broke this, my communication would be out also. So we like the dedicated device. It's a little more rugged. I bought this refurb on eBay for $300, a little less of a hit. And it's dedicated. I'm old school. Sometimes when I want to put on music at home, I'll take a CD out, put it in the CD player, and hit play. Or I could turn on my computer, open iTunes, find a playlist, turn on the amp. It just, sometimes a dedicated device is easier than the smartest device. Just, again, that's me. Huh?
Replace Mapsource.
Yes.
Because I can't download to my Garmin to a Mapsource, so it can't for basic.
Yeah, well, yeah, some of the devices don't work, and to be honest with you, it's, unless you really know what you're doing, you wouldn't be able to download BaseCamp anymore. You know, even if you had the file, you know, like the CDs, the DVDs, you need upgrades that are available only on the internet, and there's like 6 of them to get it to where it's going to work these days. So again, I'm going to just focus on BaseCamp for teaching you how to use this kind of stuff. We're not going to go into Mapsource. I personally still use it because the databases are different, and for me, it makes a difference, but for most people, it doesn't. Right? Let's see. So waypoint creation in the field. One of the GPSs, you can just, enter waypoint, and you can edit it, give it a name, or just let it take the default number. And we went over that. Show you the pointer. Okay, so I covered a lot of this So I think we're just gonna go to, one of the GPS limitations is line of sight. If you're in the trees or behind a mountain or a hill, might not work. Some of the maps are more than 20 years old, so they may be inaccurate. It may look like you're off the road 10 feet when you're actually on it physically. That's because of the newer technology got a little bit more accurate over the years. And now you know where you are, but doesn't look like you're on the map. Okay, tracks are, again, some of this is in our old, I updated some of it today, but some of this stuff doesn't really matter anymore. No, what about, okay, so again, we like the chart type, chart type displays, chart plotters they call them, with the base maps of Topo. Okay, so here's the downside is they're not hardened for off-road use. If you crash, you break your phone, who do you call for help? There's a lot of apps for that, but which one? You know, if there's 100 different apps and everybody's using a different one, there's chaos in the community. So we're trying to, get everybody on the same page, literally. Sharing routes. All right, you know what? All right, any questions about what we've gone over? Then I'll go into some BaseCamp.
When you're doing a track, and following a track, if the guy who developed it moves back on himself and crosses over it, I find it extremely confusing on the tracks.
But if it looks confusing because they're crossing, but if you're following it with the pointer, it'll point you the which way you're going.
That pointer, I'm basically getting. Did you design the pointer, or the Garmin software is?
No, the
knows where to
Garmin
point?
has a pointer feature that you turn on or off. It's one of the fields on the device. Here you go. You know what? Here, let me let's see. Where we
I got that. You know,
Even the old 276C has it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the 2720.
My smartphone doesn't have it.
I'll run both.
He's gonna show you right now.
He's gonna show you. They set it up so it's gonna actually show all the restriction and return orders. So we can anticipate the next turn, so say you're gonna be turning left. It's not right.
Okay, let's see. So there's a picture of the pointer, on a screen, on a Montana screen. You have the ability to change these fields, right? So you would put the pointer, turn it on. And again, this is what I use when I'm not navigating. Other fields you might want to have is here, distance to next waypoint, estimated time of arrival at that waypoint. Again, but when I'm just driving around following a route or a track, this is what I have. Want to know my speed, want to know how much gas I got left.
So
and
that works on a
what time
track
it is.
also?
What's that?
It works on a track also?
Yes, yes.
Is that pointer just for off-road?
No. Well, it works for routes or tracks.
Yeah, but if I'm on a highway, can I put that pointer on?
Yeah.
Sure.
With if the device has the ability to do it. So here, let's see, I got a couple other, so see here, this is some Montana setup screens. Orientation, I want track up. Guidance text, I turn on every now and then. Small data fields. Zoom off, detail more. Okay, there's another, so this is my main screen. So I can hit the map to see the map, mark waypoint, track log on or track log off. That's what you were asking, how do you turn it on this particular device? Track log on. And if you want to stop recording, track log off. Okay, Track Manager allows you to pull up the tracks that you have in there and select which one you want. It's almost like a regular car GPS where you say where to, and to say home or you know, another address or another point of interest. In this case, where do you want to go? I want to go to, you know, Pine Barrens 500, day 1, section 1, and then it would guide you through that section.
So track manager is actually, you're actually doing a track, not where on the GPS you're just doing a waypoint. You're
Well,
not
the
doing
Track Manager allows you to select the track that you're going to navigate.
previously recorded.
Yes,
Right.
or that was
Or that you
downloaded
found.
into you
Okay.
or your device.
What if you're not near the track? Will it get you to the track?
And with the pointer on, it'll point you to the close, yes, it'll point you in the right
But
direction.
it won't route you there.
If you have the 24K maps, it will.
Okay.
And see, that's where this is all, see, this is where this is all coming together. You're starting to see that the connection between the maps, the waypoints, the tracks, if you have the right setup, it works. If you don't,
And it'll ask you like go to the beginning of the track or the end of the track or the middle of the track.
you have the ability to select, go backwards or forwards. Now, sometimes with me, I'm just out riding, or I'm pre-riding section 1, day 1, and I say, hey, what's down that road? And I leave the track. So the whole time it's pointing me, get doing, what are you doing? You know? And then finally, when I'm done exploring, I get back to the track and continue on. So it's almost like on a car where you take the wrong turn, it keeps telling you to make a U-turn every 5 seconds, right? Same thing.
So on to that point, if you have to take a detour, for example, and you skip a waypoint, on my old 276C, you got to a certain point, it would just pick up the next point.
Right.
But now 5 keeps making you go back to the
Now-
point
now
and to skip it.
It could be an issue with turning off auto route. You know, some of the devices, you know, are gonna automatically recalculate. We always have that turned off.
I usually turn that.
Yeah, so, but if you're
I
on
created
a
a route, I turn that off.
Yeah, so that would be one of the reasons it would do that, is because auto calculate is on. But,
Yeah, I think that nav 5, it's just another feature of it that we can learn to hate.
yeah, see, we don't like those, you know, we're from doing events, we've been doing Pine Barrens 500 for more than 10 years, and it started out only GPS. That was the, damn it, no GPS, you can't ride. But we're trying to make a new thing here. And in the beginning, the first one, 2 guys showed up with GPSs. It was 40 guys, it was me and 2 other GPSs. And the guy who really knew what he was doing took himself out in the first 3 miles, Gregor. Gregor Helenda, you notice his pictures, he's like a world famous photographer. But he was like, oh great, I got a good guy here, and he crashed and was out. But so anyways, the last time we did an event, there was 100 people, 90 of them had GPSs. So it's starting to come around.
I'd say something about this, that if any of this information sounds intimidating or it sounds like it's too much, it can be if you try to assimilate it all at once. So I would just encourage you to use your GPS, use the shit out of it. Every time you know you're going,
Yeah.
you know where you're going, use it anyway, because you'll get familiar with it. And I do a little bit of YouTubing. Sometimes you
Yep.
find somebody that knows what they're doing, or even, God forbid, read the manual. Right.
No, I do the same thing with my wife. She doesn't know.
You don't have manual.
Yeah, she doesn't know how to use her GPS. I said, put it in the car and take it to work and use it. She goes, but I don't know. I know where I'm going. I go, yeah, but if you ever had to take a turn, you know, a detour or something, it's right there. You'll learn it as riding. Yeah.
Not even a whole. So maybe you'll cover this, but I found too, if I'm creating a new route, but I'm using a waypoint that I've already used. Let's say I'm going from home.
Right.
So I have home.
I know on
And when
BaseCamp you're talking about?
Yeah, so if I copy and paste that or drag it into the new route, it makes me rename it. It calls it home 2, or
See, that's
you
the
get home 2,
problem
home
with
3, home 3,
BaseCamp.
You get home 55, and it's like
No, see, that's why, again, this is important too, with Mapsource, all the data was in one file. For example, the 2010 Pine Barrens 500, day 1, was all in one file. It had all the waypoints, it had the routes, the tracks, and the map if necessary. And day 2 would have all that data, and day 3 would have that data. Then 2011, day 1, 2, and 3 would all have. I do everything the same. Like day 1, section 1 is 1,000. Waypoint numbers are 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,005. Next year, day 1, section 1, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. It's the same thing every year. With BaseCamp, if I had 2010 in there and I pulled in 2011, it would renumber all of 2011 to 10,011, 10,012, 10,013. So because the data is all in one big database instead of separate files. So that's why that's happening. That's why I use Mapsource, so that I can keep my years separate and do the same sequence and the same. See, because guys come year after year, if I have to, oh, this year we're calling it XYZ, next year it's TUV, and next year it's AVD. It's consistent. We do things the same way every year. Guys, sooner or later, figure it out. Most of them. Okay, so now, let's, okay, so now here's BaseCamp. Now, again, every time I fire it up on here, I have trouble. But anyway, so in BaseCamp, this here is all the, you see, it renumbered some of these. So down here, it allows you to select the information that you want to see on the screen. Here would be the waypoints. These are the routes, and these are the tracks. So if you want to see either, any of that, you would click on them. So like I said, I'm having a little trouble here with my.
Do you have to have your GPS connected when you use BaseCamp?
No.
I thought it, well, I know with car one for the map, I know for certain map things with my car one, I have to have it.
Well, maybe because it doesn't have the map in there that the car is using, so then in that case, yes. But generally, again, if you buy the DVD of the 24 Garmin 24K Topo maps, you can then load them into BaseCamp. If you don't buy the map, it just comes with a basic your base map, a world map. So then you wouldn't see all this detail.
Right. Right, but if you can download the detailed maps to the device.
Yes.
Particularly if you have an extra memory chip, because it'll give you the huge geographic scale for it. I mean, I'm talking about roads. Otherwise,
I don't know everything.
Screen says download options. You can download to device only, device and computer.
Oh yeah, okay. See that I didn't know. So I just went out. We're professionals. We do this regular. So I just bought the DVDs. But what I did find is now that I bought it, I can copy it to chips and hand them out, so to speak. Not that I would do anything.
Other than to make money, why does Garmin have to have these DVDs and all this other crap? Why can't they just upload it on the machine? The memory's easy, cheap now.
It's all the work that goes into the map. But why does Microsoft make me pay for Word every year?
But they put on the new boats that you buy it.
Well, there's upgrades for them available.
But they have the entire United States map in there.
Yeah.
So
That's,
they can do it if they wanted to.
They could also make an app on an iPhone, but they're not making the same Montana app on an iPhone. That'd be huge. But it's like a street, it's like a car-based one. It's not where you can do these two things.
Close space. See, it says not responding.
Yeah, I know.
We should close it.
So anyway, so while I'm, there we go.
Or you can actually show us how to actually
Don't
play
push
around.
off the Wi-Fi.
Do you want me to?
Well, I don't know if we need it. That was the, you know, I'm just gonna open up, just to show you a couple of things.
So Mapsource also requires additional map for detail to be purchased.
No, this one was free. So this is a good example though of waypoints and tracks here. So again, so with any software, BaseCamp and Mapsource have similar qualities, that they're just in different spots. So here, remember, the BaseCamp had down here the routes, tracks, and waypoints. In BaseCamp, it's up here. Here's all my waypoints. Here's all my tracks. Here's all my routes. So now if we, day 1-3, it's going to show on map. Click OK. So that highlighted area, this is day 3, section 2. It's 21 miles long. Now, so you see how if we zoom in, if we select the zoom in tool, again, BaseCamp and Mapsource both have the same tools. Here's the zoom in. The hand allows you to move around. The zoom in allows you to zoom in and out. Again, and then you can change the resolution. The highest, see how it gets more resolution there. This is the map tool to select the maps, but we're not going to do that. This here is create a waypoint. If I wanted to create a waypoint, I could just click it right there. Gives me the name, the number, the longitude and latitude position. You can select the symbol and select OK. So now if we wanted to make a route, to go down along these railroad tracks, we would just create the waypoints. Now if I go to edit, new track, sorry, cancel, edit new route, insert waypoints, there's numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, and click OK, and there's my new route. So, see, I just, and again, after I go through this a little bit, we'll go back to BaseCamp, but to keep you interested, rather than me fiddling with computers, figured I'd show you this. So basically that's it. Now if you selected, let's say, you knew where you wanted to go. Let's zoom out a little bit. And you wanted to, like here, this is the Pine Barrens. The docks around there all the time. We're all around. Gonna make a waypoint. This is Lucille's is right about here. That's where we have lunch. And I'll zoom in a little bit. Click the hand to move over. Okay, so Lucille's is there. Now we want to go through up to Coyle Field. So we're going to click on this road here. Waypoint there. Waypoint here. Waypoint here.
Can I ask you a question while you're
Yep.
doing that?
Go
Is
ahead.
there a way of, have you ever used Tire, UIRD? There you just put a waypoint, you put another waypoint, it automatically makes the whole route, and then you go to the next waypoint, you just keep doing it, you don't have to do.
Well, there's other ways to
Oh,
do
there
this
are.
with Garmin too.
Oh, there is.
Yeah, but again, I like to be in control. I don't like, automatic this and automatic that, automatic name my files. I do it manual. This way I just have a little bit more control.
No, I'm saying the way you're doing the track in the sense of you're plotting all the waypoints first, and you're not seeing it where entire.
There's another program called Map something, another Garmin, sitting.
I know
It's
what you're
the
talking
lower
about.
version
It's an
of
old
that,
one.
and that does it. You just click, and they're a route.
I'm not trying
Right.
to say that what you're doing, it just seems backwards to me compared to software I've used.
There is a route tool on here. It's the next button over.
You just have to, the route tool.
You can
is
just go
a
click
little
all over the
flag.
map
Right.
and just keep connecting.
Usually just pick
Right.
it
Yeah,
up.
so
okay, that's right.
But like I said, I
Thank
just
you.
like, I do
Elastic
things,
band.
I'm like a one-trick pony. I do it one way. But it seems to work.
That's the way I do it.
That's exactly kind
That's
of
how
how
I
you
do
do
it.
tire.
But then, like a dumbass, I gotta go in there and rename everything. I have to
See,
rename
well, you
everything.
know what? I think the reason I do it, I'm showing you this way, is because I don't really do it this way. I'm out in the woods making my own waypoints, and then I bring them in, and then I connect them. So
Right, 'cause yours
again,
is
I'm
super-
kind of doing it backwards, or opposite the
You're
way
actually
you're
walking
doing it.
on the map.
Yeah, I'm actually in the woods
Yes,
doing
you're
it
actually
rather
doing it while you're
than.
live.
Well, one of the points about that is that the reason why he does that is there's a lot less misadventure when you've actually written the route first.
Yeah,
When
you're right.
Or I'm cooking up some crap on my computer and I get there, I was like, road closed, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know?
So if all the roads aren't in the map for Pine Barrens, how do you map
They
it?
are, most of them are.
On the top.
On the 24K Topo, most of the roads, the legal ones, and actually we gotta go to a Pinelands meeting tomorrow morning. Pinelands Commission the Pineland Preservation Alliance is trying to make us only use the roads that are on the topo map, right? Which I don't have a problem with, but what we need for the enduros is a special use permit to go off-road into the woods, into the single track. And if they make the rule that you can only stay on the roads without that special use permit exception, we're screwed again. We just got back single track, and now they're trying to take it away from us. So, got another meeting I can go to tomorrow. All right, let's see. I think, okay. So we're back online here. So again, this is a typical Pine Barrens 500 map. And again, one of the things, the most important things, if you're new to this, is setting up the tools. When you just install it, the default, you're missing a lot of these cool tools up here. So you would need to go to Views, Toolbars, and you see what I have turned on: detail level, transfer, drawing tools, edit features, map products, map tools. These are all important things to turn on. They're not turned on by default. So if you don't have them, you may not have the ability to, for example, change the resolution of the map.
Yeah, if you lower the detail of the map, we might be able to see that better from back here. That's looking noisy.
Yeah. But we're trying to show you the
Okay.
see, boys, you know.
I think you mentioned that one out again.
Just like it worked.
This is Windows 10, new laptop. Just did all the upgrades.
Yep, doesn't
That's the
have
problem, you did the
All right,
upgrade.
so let's try it one more time here. Because maybe I won't go nuts, but at least, like I said, the most important thing is seeing the tools and the functions of them. Okay, so again, if you go to the view and turn on the tools, you have the availability here to select the map. See here I have City Navigator, the 24K, or the regular topo maps. You can change the resolution here to what Kurt was saying: see less, see more. And then again, up here, the hand, the magnifying glass or the zoom, the select. Here's create waypoint. There's the new route one, right? That I just learned.
Did the Topo map show you where the deep sand is?
No.
That's what Jack showed.
Yeah. Okay, new route, new track. So then again, if you, now these are routes here.
What did you say the website was to get the free Topo? 24K notification?
GPS Depot. GPS DEPOT.
They're looking for 24K, is it?
Well, they won't be there. That's the Garmin 24K is the Garmin product.
That's
The
routable.
free maps
Not.
are, no, they're not. That's why you get what you pay for.
Some of that DVD. They're non-vatable.
No, they have like Boyd's Core of the Pines. Here, if we go back to, I'll show you. So this here is the regular Garmin, the old Garmin Topo map. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can show you some detail. Now here, now this is one of the free maps. Oh, I don't have it on here. Yeah, you know what? I don't have it on here. Oh, but yeah, never mind.
Does that Topo map help you anywhere outside of the Pine Barrens? Like, I just did some dirt roads in Connecticut, but I think they're all just legal roads.
Well,
Is there any benefit outside the Pine Barrens?
well, it's not just for Pine Barrens. It's for the Northeast.
Right.
So the Garmin 24K Northeast DVD, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, half of Maryland.
But there's roads on there that you won't see on a normal map, right?
That's right.
So where else are there gonna be roads that aren't on a regular map?
What? I don't know.
You said that there's on a,
Where dirt roads
yeah,
are usually not on the map.
at all,
Well, again,
normally.
I don't know other states, you know, or which roads are on the map or not. That's beyond the scope of
You did
what I'm talking about.
I found some little trails up in Vermont, up in the Northeast Kingdom. that
I got
were
a
on
question for you about
the
the
regular
Pine
streets and
Barrens.
trip,
Is
regular-
Parker's
regular,
Pit still
Garmin.
protected?
What's that?
Parker's Pit still protected off 539?
What's that?
Parker's Pit, is that still like a protected area for?
All the
frogs?
pits are off limits now. Just the roads. There's plenty of roads to have fun on, but
Parker's Pit's fun.
I don't remember. There's a whole bunch.
It's right off of 539.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah. And they said it was a dried up lake bed for preserving frogs and toads or
Yeah,
something
that's,
like that.
They say that. Again, tomorrow I gotta go through with all that.
One of the things that, while you're doing that, one of the things that Mike Bradway really does for us is he brings the truth a lot of times to the pilot. If there's something that's truly at risk, we want to preserve it also. We don't want to ride somewhere where something's truly at risk, but there are many times where they'll point something out to them, and the thing they're trying to do is in opposition to the way this one particular animal behaves. Like that one turtle that lays its eggs in the disturbed soil. So if you don't ride this particular single track,
Okay, here, hold it. While I got
worse
this,
than if you do.
while I got this working. So see, here's a route, right? Now, if you right-click it, you can create track from selected route. So, and you can do the vice versa. Here's the tracks, and create route from selected track. So again, it's blurring the lines between route and tracks.
So when do you want a route and when do you want a track?
Again, that's personal preference we found. Some people love the routes. It depends on the device. And some guys swear by the tracks because it's more detailed, it's closer. A route is, again, if I remember, they were point to point, which is further apart.
The track is the breadcrumb, correct? I'm sorry.
The
The
track is the breadcrumb.
So you can't deviate from there where, if you're using a route, you're going waypoint to waypoint, just like in a car one. If your GPS is configured to go fastest route, you have a waypoint, say here, and you're over here, it might bring you here, but if you
Yeah.
change it, it might bring you this way.
Yeah, well, the route, when I design the routes, that's not gonna happen.
You force it to
But it
go.
depends, the route of the track would depend on the device. Some devices aren't capable of tracks, some aren't capable of routes. Some can't do either, some can do both, and then it would be your preference.
Well, I don't listen to my GPS at all, I just. do
I don't
that.
either.
But wait, the routes will tell you when the turns are coming and the track won't, will it?
Not on the 276.
Right, on mine, I choose to follow routes. The tracks are what I laid down the week before. And then the route is less granular, and it tells me left and right when it's
Yep.
obvious. But the reason why I have to do is my older Garmin does not let me just follow a track. It'll let me follow my active track, but nothing I've saved.
Yeah, again, see,
So-
they're all different,
so-
you
So
know?
I think the standard answer here is you would follow a route. If you're gonna prepare something, you prepare a route.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't agree.
Yeah, well, see, we have this discussion at Pine Barrens 500, we have a GPS class. I'm trying to do it ahead of time here, or to
Safely
practice.
say- You can safely say it depends.
Well,
Yeah.
so the one
That's
that.
what you have to say.
So when you disagree, your GPS lets you, like I saw in his, is a folder. You can go back and follow tracks that are in there.
Well, what I was more disagreeing with is making a wholesale answer to the question.
Yeah,
That's what I would say. I.
which is
you're
better,
right. You're only
OS,
right for certain
Apple or
ones.
Mac,
but there's-
which is better, a PC or Mac?
That's a different question.
No, it's the same thing, it really is.
But I can't follow a saved track. I can
With
only
that
follow
device,
that.
with your
Right.
device.
your device.
So with
But
your
you're-
device, it's a different answer than with this
So
device.
you can, but I'm asking you,
Yes.
so with a Montana, which I'm thinking about getting, you can catalog by tracks and follow the tracks.
Yes.
Even saved tracks, not just a GPS.
That's correct.
The difference is a track is where you've already been.
But you can draw a track, you can, here,
You can make one.
let me
You can draw a
show,
track.
I'm gonna do it on Mapsource,
Yeah,
just,
But from a higher level, a route is where you wanna go, a track is where you've already been.
well, depend, here, well, look, when I'm creating the event, like, look at this, right? So this is an actual, file that we give out, for the Pine Barrens 500.
I mean, I've never created a track.
Right, so sometimes, like when I'd be proofing a route, I'd be proofing a route using a track that was not real. Somebody
But
had-
you've already
No.
taken.
No, but here, let me show you
Really?
something
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
No, you can make a track on.
He's gonna
on
do it.
Google
Just
Maps,
wait.
you can make a track. You
No,
don't,
I
you
mean-
don't have to
I
write it.
mean-
Now, here, I'm gonna show you, one second. Let's see, this is what's cool, we're going on all the different tangents, but this is what helps people learn. Now, if I wanted to edit new track, right? I'm gonna take the drawing tool.
Is there a way to get rid of all the other stuff so we can see only what you're doing? Like, is there a way to put everything in the background? Like
Should
all the purple
we
lines?
use a new map so we can see it?
What, lower map?
Yeah,
No, I meant not the resolution, I meant like only the purple lines so that we're seeing
Oh,
exactly what you're doing.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, start thinking.
Okay, so now I wanted, this is where I wanted to do it with the other map to show you something, but, wait, let me do this. I'm gonna take a track, I'm gonna take one track, because this is what I wanted to show you, is what I want to do. So, edit, copy, right now, file, new, edit, paste. So I've taken that section. Now, I found out, this is the day before Pine Barrens 500, and I found out that there's a tree down, and we have to reroute. So what I can do is this is a track, and I can take the drawing tool and draw the track that I want to use. Again, I'm creating my own breadcrumbs, same thing, like I'm creating waypoints, and then what I would do, I would take the cut tool, I'd cut it here, and cut it there.
You also just drag that section.
Or I would delete, here, that's in the tracks. Right here, track, right here,
Where you want to go.
right here, all right, so I'm gonna delete that track. Now I use the join tool to go here, to go there. So I've just rerouted a track on the PC with the tools. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can create a track by riding it. You can create a route by making waypoints as you go. You can make a route by making waypoints on the screen here.
I would assume that file is much bigger.
It will
than
be.
track file.
Yes, this is breadcrumbs.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like-
well, see, that's why with the older devices, we had to we made 3 files. One that was just routes, because they had less data. one that was just a track, because it was more accurate and some could take it, and we had other files for the newer devices that were routes and tracks, and would let the guys decide which ones they wanted.
You can also take a track that's got too many points for an older device and actually like change the amount of.
That's why I don't understand, why do you need to know all those dots? They're pointless.
Shaping.
Well, now here, somebody else would say, I want the detail.
Yeah, but you could put a waypoint.
But they're on-
Yeah, that's the argument. That's, we
But
go
think
through
about
this
this,
every
you're
time.
on
I want a
dirt.
route, I want a track. No, tracks are better, no, routes are better.
I mean, I'm not an off-road biker.
Right.
So maybe I'm way off.
No,
base,
no,
but
well, no.
I use routes
No,
all
you're-
the time.
you're
and-
just your preference.
and-
It-
and
it's
after
6
I
and 1 half.
follow it, I could look at the track to
You
see
like
where
chocolate or
where I
vanilla?
actually was.
No, do you like chocolate or vanilla?
It's
It's the same thing. All right.
Bye.
Sorry, gotta get.
All right.
It just seems like excess information.
We're gonna do it again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more in your camp. I want less fidelity on the route because it's got less clutter. But I would navigate a track without any worry.
Well, Beth, does the GPS tell you when you get to each of those tracks?
No, you don't need to know. It's the pointer.
Yeah, the Zoom
Or you can
does.
see where you are. You can see where you are on the map also.
Well, when you upload to a Zumo for a regular route, and you go in, and so when you upload it, then you have to go into a trip ladder. Right.
Right, yeah,
And,
yeah.
and then when you go in there, it puts down all your major waypoints, and you
Mhm.
can go from one to the other
Right,
to the other.
waypoints, not via points.
Right.
See, it's, again, I have a guy, I sit right next to you, you guys can go back and forth with this all night long, Joe Pacino. Now, I personally like the routes better, I honestly do. When I lay out the route, I'm riding it on my motorcycle, and I'm using a track, and sometimes I take a wrong turn. Like, son of a bitch, I laid this out and I took a wrong turn. Where if it's the route, it's gonna point me, like, if you come up to a fork in the road, and on the map, it's a fork. What?
When you approach a fork, take it.
On the map, it's a fork. You get there, it's a 3-pronged fork, right? Where do I go? And I swear to God, I take the wrong turn from time to time. So a properly laid out route is a little bit more accurate.
Can you show both?
Yeah.
Track and route?
Yep.
On the, so you can have both.
Yeah, well, you can't follow them both at the same time.
But you can follow a route, and you can see the track,
Yeah,
you see the
so,
GPS.
so again, this is why we want you to practice, to go out and use it. Don't show up at the Pine Barrens 500 and say, hey, what should I use? You know, you should know that, again, we have the same class before the Pine Barrens 500, they have the same discussions, and it's personal preference. But the only real way to learn which is better, you obviously been using the GPS and you know what you like, and I'm the same way. I know what I like. You know I like BaseCamp, and you know, for certain things, I know I like Mapsource. But I like an Android, you know, you like an Apple. You have a PC, you have a Mac. You like vanilla, you like chocolate. That's, you know what it is.
So when you're doing, when we were getting back to the routes before, if you have a way, like if you set 2 points and it goes a certain way, you mainly get around that by putting another waypoint to force it a certain way.
Yes.
Okay, I do
Yeah,
the
you
same
can
thing for
insert
motorcycle.
a waypoint in the route. Now, sometimes, like with.
You can drag the route.
Well, yeah, I know
Yeah.
you can do whatever way, I'm just saying, I just wanna make sure I'm understanding how you're doing this, cause that's how I do on my motorcycle one, when I use tires. I do the same thing, if I'll ride it one day, and I notice, oh crap, it took me the wrong way that I didn't wanna go, cause it decided to go this way, I'll just put an extra waypoint, so you do the same thing.
You know, look, so here's another example of this. Again, it's easier for me to do it in Mapsource, but it's the same thing. Let's say, for example, that tree was down and I wanted to readjust the route. So I could take another waypoint and put it here, and I'm gonna number it 3, 4, 4, 3A. Right? So now, you go into the route. And we're gonna find 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 3.
Are these roads you take off-road are actually named?
Yeah.
Well, cause I'm actually more of a car person, so I mean, I say riding on the street.
Their names, it's hilarious in the Pine
Alright, oh, give me some
The
hilarious.
Jemima.
Oh, That's good. You know what you could do, actually,
One
you
of my
could,
favorite spots.
you could select this, here, you could
Can
use
you
the
click
select
and-
tool.
Could
Yeah,
you just
can
edit
select
it and
move
move
it.
Click and drag
You can,
it?
yeah, you can just,
Yeah,
yeah, you can move it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And that's,
You
that's
know.
a V.
No, you don't have to
that's
do
a
it,
V.
I just wanna make sure you use
That's
the
a
same
waypoint.
concept I was using, that you add extra waypoints.
It's
to
numbered,
make
it's,
sure.
here, look, in the waypoints,
Well, you created them.
yeah.
But if you grab that line
just drag
and
it.
pushed it up there, it would put it up there as a via point, so when you approach it, it won't tell you it's there. I mean, you don't care about that point, you just wanna get to that location. If you put a waypoint up there, it's gonna say, you're approaching this waypoint.
Well, okay, so one of the things that you will do is you're routing most of this in off-road mode. So not using direct routing. So there are preferences in the navigation queue where you won't get that much, it won't route you on the road. It'll just point you there and it'll be a straight line to the next road. So you have a preference.
Well, you said that, somebody asked a question, that, about the track points, like you won't hear it when you're riding, but I know when you do the route, the via points, they come through on my communication device. It says
Waypoints,
you're-
the waypoints.
Well, it says approaching via point.
Oh, then it depends on how it was
Well,
created.
It all depends on your device and software you use, like I said.
Yeah.
I could answer that. Double click on one of your routes.
On the route,
Yeah, just double click on it.
right?
And
You trying to move the point?
So you can click and drag.
wait, cancel that. Go down where you see all your routes.
Are you trying to make it a VIA point as opposed to a waypoint?
Now, double click on one of those routes there.
Oh, on the route
No,
itself?
No,
Over
bring up.
over to the left.
Double click.
on that. Well, click on one of those numbers.
That's the
No,
one.
go back. Do what you just did. Now, right click on one of those.
That's a waypoint.
How come yours is? I could click on that, and it says do not show. It doesn't say do not show, but it says something like that.
Do not
So-
show. Are you on Mapsource?
No,
Are you
no,
on Mapsource?
I'm on BaseCamp.
He's on.
But,
Yeah, Mapsource.
Jack?
but
Oh, that's right.
One point. When you're following,
that's why.
Go ahead, Doc.
All right, good, so now, let's,
yeah.
Well,
I had a
click on
comment.
one of the purple ones.
yeah, I can't believe that this isn't working. Go ahead, Doc, what do you got?
Well, I just want to say that if you're following a track, and you come to one of those three-way thingies, you'll know within about 500 feet that you've gone
That's
the wrong
correct.
way.
Yeah, but you would
You get
rather
to
not
practice your U-turns,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
don't find the right way. But the track is always in the right, the track's in the right place, and you'll be able to find your way back.
That's right, you'll see.
And if you don't like the way the track's going, you can open up your screen a little bit and go a different way and then get back on the track. It's very easy.
Yeah,
Not
once you know
No
what
pun
you're
intended.
doing.
But it doesn't tell you, right? You're just following the purple
Okay, so
one,
now
right?
now this is BaseCamp, so you were saying go to a route.
Click on one of those.
I don't like
Right,
anybody
this
give
is
me orders.
And then you want to right click on
Yeah,
one.
right click on one of those. See, it
Don't
says
alert.
don't alert. So you could go through each one of those and say, don't alert.
It
And
won't
when
show
you're
you.
following it, it won't say you're coming up to this. You're coming
Oh,
up to
okay,
that.
see,
It
I
will
don't
just
have,
take you right
have
through it.
speakers on mine, so I didn't even know that
That's
was.
a shaping
See, like I
point,
said, I don't
right?
know everything, you know, I'm first to admit it.
It's much
So-
nicer when
Well,
it's
you're only
quiet.
doing off-roading, you know.
But
Yeah.
some of
that's
us
the
are
answer
doing,
to
you
your
know.
question.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But you could just turn the sound off if you want.
No,
if
but
you
then
really
they'll
wanted
still
to.
say on the screen, even if the sound off, it's gonna say 50 feet to this
Yeah.
one, 50 feet to that one, where it's not gonna say that
Right.
anymore. It'll only tell you.
This is where you really want to get comfortable with your menu and your options.
Absolutely.
And really get really comfortable configuring that, because then all that stuff will start to become, oh yeah, shit, I forgot to turn it off.
And on my screen, it shows me the distances between each of those points on that last screen.
Do you have any like suggested tracks or routes for the Pine Barrens for day rides?
I have a couple.
I mean, like smaller scale ones.
We have something that's called GS Easy. That's probably what you want to see.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's GS Easy. It's fun. It takes you through White's Bog and then Reed's Bog. It's beautiful, right?
How long of a day? Is that a full day?
No, it's like 40, 50 miles. Now, it could be all day for some people, because it's, you know.
All day, all night.
It's easy, you know, for an experienced rider, you know, it's mostly gravel, but there are some sand sections that you just can't avoid, you know,
That'd be
that's.
awesome.
What's that?
That'd be great.
Yeah, well, email me, I'll send it to you.
So that's what I was gonna ask, on the topo maps, you can tell the sections that are gravel as opposed to like.
No,
sand or
no.
sand.
So in Mapsource, a lot of times you might have one that's a dashed line, and that's a dirt road, but you can't count on it. So, yeah.
Is it too hard to see in Google Earth? Have you actually tried to drill down or no?
Google, I know,
I think you can
on my, I got a 40-inch monitor,
Yeah.
a 32 and a 24, right? So I have BaseCamp or Mapsource here, and then I have Google Earth here. And like when we did the Pennsylvania ride we just did, I would zoom in on Google Earth to see if it was dirt or street.
You could do that on this.
Yeah, you could. But again, I like to have, it's hard to go back and
Yeah,
forth.
but you can follow the route. You can make a route and immediately go to the Google Earth and see that.
Yeah, but I'd rather see two separate screens.
So you could really.
Again, when you're doing 500 miles of roads, you want to make things easy.
You could really see. I can never see past the tree line when I try to.
You can, sometimes you can't always, but when you follow it until an opening and you can see if it's dirt or.
Sometimes if you change.
Yeah, there's ways. You gotta, like I said, if it's obscured by trees, follow it along till it opens up. And sooner or later, it's gonna open up in an intersection or something.
How much memory you have on that machine?
I don't know.
You may be
I got a question for you.
too much bits on your computer.
Brand new.
It's constantly coming out. They're running too many apps.
It's Windows 10,
Does Garmin make a program you can download to a cell phone? So
Okay, all right, so let's talk about that. So there's.
I only use my cell phone for navigation.
Yeah, so there's two. Rever is a good one. REVER is just starting to push it.
Yeah.
And then Pocket Earth, the Doc turned me on to, what I like about Pocket Earth, you can download the maps and save them on your computer, on your phone.
Can you breadcrumb with it, either one of them?
I think,
You can,
yes.
absolutely. I've been using Reaver or whatever.
Rever? I found
since-
it pretty hard to get around Rever. I had it and I took it out.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Pocket Earth is very simple.
Pocket Earth.
I like simple.
Eric used ESR, Eat, Sleep, Ride.
That's what it's called, Pocket Earth?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it'll breadcrumb you, like if you find a good route, you can go back and pull it up again and.
I use a very, very simple approach. I
But-
just take a GPS thing and I load it in.
It looks like I just started fiddling with it because I think it's time, hey, Ray.
Will it give you
I think
options for back roads or highways or avoid
I don't
this
do
or
options,
avoid that?
it's simplicity.
we're starting to realize that we have to address the smartphones. It's
Well,
almost like,
there's Waze, which is pretty good, there's Google Maps.
see, but this is why we can only support 2 or 3. We can't support 50 of them.
If
So
you
we're
want-
taking
Yeah.
Pocket Earth and Rever, and those ones that will help, will know something about it. By then, Bill's one of my main tech guys at the events, and then we got another a real hardware engineer working with us. We got some really good guys, and they'll dig into it and help you with it. I'm more like the big picture guy. It's hard enough just to create
So
the
Garmin
routes.
doesn't make a program you can
Yep.
buy and download to your phone.
Not yet.
Right. There's,
Well, they're gonna have, because here's an example of why we're gonna start embracing smartphones. Because I don't have a camera anymore. I used to carry a big 35 millimeter or
You don't
a,
need one.
SLR
You don't
camera.
need one.
You don't need
You don't even
it.
need a
So pretty
laptop
soon,
anymore.
you're not gonna need this either.
No.
But right now, this is
Well, you
where
really
we're
don't
at.
need that. You have
But
Waze, you have,
this
Google
just
Maps.
happened
if you're
6
a
months
road
ago.
rider, that works.
That's all I do.
But if you're doing anything, where you want to venture off the beaten
Jack, on
path.
Rever, you could download
Like the
maps
trails
also
back in the
offline.
day.
Yeah, I saw it again. So that's why those are the two that, it seems like KTM is backing Rever. We had Mike Lafferty at our Barrens 300, Pennsylvania 300, he was using Rever.
The Rever's good for roads, not off-road.
They're pushing it for off-road.
I just do roads, so I don't
The
care.
guys who did the backcountry discovery route in Nevada, and I was looking at Nevada, where they still watching the movie here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one of those guys is the developer of Rever.
Well, they're
Oh,
Butler,
yeah?
right? They're part of Butler?
Yeah, either that or one of the, yeah, I'm pretty sure one of those guys is the developer. I don't know.
Laji Thomas?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just know that they finally added the feature where you can track your friends.
Yeah.
I
See,
just
well,
use
that's
that.
what's cool. That's what
That's what we like about it. I can see where you are. It's like a mini Blue Force tracker that we have in the Army. But Google Maps.
Yeah, again, there's so many different ways to do it. Now, what I have to do for an event is make something that works for everybody. What we try to do is do these little GPSs, and I learned something too. You know, like what the conversation I was having with you. I agree, I understand, I agree with you 100%. Sometimes routes are better, but I can put a guy right next to you and he'll swear the opposite. So it's good for me to hear because, like I said, I'm creating a ride for hundreds of people. I need to know what the feelings are from the riders, you know?
I think what we're seeing is you generally, the smartphone users who want to navigate a GPX file are showing up and know.
Yeah.
They just want you to email it to them and they take care of the rest. Because it has become pretty intuitive that way. So I think it matters less what you use.
Yeah, it's very easy if somebody mails you a route, to just click on it and it's already in the thing.
Yeah, I did it.
There's nothing else to do. But the limiting factor, as you know, is number one, it's uploading maps as you're going along.
Well, unless you download them. No, if you download them.
Right.
But the other thing is, it does suck the batteries.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you gotta
We
have
had
the
a
power.
really fun
See-
argument at the
Oh my
Grand
God,
Canyon
yeah.
thing. We were just really just busting each other's balls. But like, one of the problems is it overheats. I've had,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
wintertime
and they're in
one
the
time,
sun.
I had it got so cold it shut down on me.
Yeah.
Is that
So
an-
do that, it will
is that an
absolutely will.
iPhone?
Yes.
Yeah, iPhones.
Like the other thing.
Well,
the
my
thing-
Droid.
I found my battery was going down even with it plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like you run
insane.
Waze or you run Google
Right.
Maps.
You need more power.
Yeah, Droids as well.
So again, if I had a preference for off-road, I'd recommend the hardened Garmin GPS devices. But again, we're starting to understand that we just can't stay to our old-fashioned ways, and that we're starting to embrace some of these other devices. But it's just, there's just so many, we can't cover it all. What we do is try to teach you the basics, and then give you enough to go out there and use and learn your own device.
Well, the interesting thing, if you use, I use Waze and I don't have a Garmin, routes on the bike, and if I set them both for the same address, you get two different routes.
Yep. Yeah.
I definitely recommend when you're scouting around, go ahead and run both. It's a really good thing to do.
That's right, I
Yeah.
would.
Especially
I run
with
two
Google Maps.
GPSs, one zoomed in, one zoomed out, you know?
Hey,
I still get lost.
one thing I don't like about these apps. Now, I know some people are only street and some people are Pine Barrens Dirt Road, but I also ride trail. And so one thing you should be aware of is that some of these things will publish what you've ridden into that, like Strava.
Right, yeah.
It'll put that up there.
That's illegal stuff. That's
But-
optional. That's all optional.
But people might be using it and they don't know they're uploading this stuff. So be aware that if you're doing this, you might be leaving tracks for everybody else to follow.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, it looks like they're shutting the lights off. We got about 10 minutes. Any last minute questions, comments, suggestions?
What kind of bikes are mostly used in your rides, Pine Barrens and such?
Everything.
Everything?
TW 200s to KTM 1290s.
Yeah.
Do
Because
all
I'm
dual
a-
sports, if that's what you're asking.
Novice,
Yeah.
whatever you want to ride.
Yeah.
Harley,
Bring your Harley on this.
Novice on it, you'll be all right.
Why is it that the enduro and the dual sport clubs are still so resistant to this stuff? They still want to do the roll charts.
But they don't want their stuck in their ways, you know, it's,
Vanilla or chocolate?
yeah. Well, again, it's,
You
you
came
see.
around on the smartphones, but they didn't come around on the
No, but
GPS.
like it's rally too, you know, rally is road book only. And that's because that's the competition, you know. So with enduro, same thing. It's route sheets and arrows. I mean, that's the thing, you know. Why with sword fighting don't they have pistols yet? You know?
When it's a dual sport event, it's not a competition. Not supposed to.
Right.
No, well, for media last year we did GPS. You know, we're trying to do both. You know, so they had the enduro guys to do it their way, and now at least they
Dirty Dabbers does GPS with.
did they? Yeah. So, all right. I think that
Thank you.
concludes. So, hey, go to PineBarrensAdventures.com Facebook page, like us.
If you're a
So
road
always say
rider-
good stuff, please.
Yeah, I only started riding dirt in 2008, 2007, and if you're a road rider, I would just say even just think about dabbling in a little bit of dual sport. Even if you just change your tires and just opened the entire world to me. Open the world to things I never would have seen, places I never would have gone, views that were just epic. It just
No tractor trailers and no cell phone
Quiet.
texting in the middle of the road.
I love it. Once I get into the woods, I got peace. It comes over.
It's like,
there is a solution to every
All right,
problem.
Doc.
Yeah, trust me. There is an absolute solution. You get the right kind.
Thank you.
TW2.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. Yeah, thank you. If you have more questions, you might ask. I am.
Oh, good. Yeah, you were up there last year.
I just can't stop talking about how you are. I can't believe how this.
Tell him, sorry, tell his wife how you are.
I looked it up, so you have to sign on. That's free.
Of course, they have it out.
We got people shorter than you.
I told you
How are you?
but I gotta come
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, just email me.
Stay easy, yeah.
Take care.
You will.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have you ever taken time to?
Let's see, yeah, absolutely. I've done some
How's that working?
power lines.
Okay.
I just haven't noticed. Stop.
Yeah.
You gotta go.
Tammy's
Yeah.
done the back
Yeah.
wall.
I've seen some people doing tour on their sheep off-road doing some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well, see, I've got a good thing going. She's too old to ride.
Right. There you go.
Hey,
It's my daughter.
The guy, remember the guy who broke his ankle at the Grand Canyon thing?
Yeah.
He just called me today.
Really?
Oh, I heard you had to send it in a report. I'm like, it's a little late, right? So he apparently broke his ankle really bad on the highway. He came out, he came out on the highway, came around the turn, hit some gravel and slid.
No
right?
kidding.
Broke his ankle in half, pretty much, right? So hold it. So he's telling me, yeah, you know, I got some pins and this and that, and I'm still not walking yet. But my wife has one of those Can-Am Spiders, so I've been driving that around. I think.
Hey,
Dad.
How you
Party,
doing?
Alan.
Alan, yeah.
Yep, good to see you.
Missed you at Dirt Day because just couldn't connect because you were doing the same thing up there.
Yeah, yeah.
That was awesome.
You're signed up for something again, aren't you?
I'm signed up for short deck.
Yeah.
And I missed the Grand
See you around.
Canyon.
Be safe out there.
Because I came off Dirt Day.
Yeah. How was Dirt Days?
From the back.
It was really good. Jimmy Lewis was great.
Did you take his class?
Took his experience class. My wife Dawn was here. She took the 101. And it was good.
He's a good guy.
He's a good teacher.
Yeah. He's the genius. Did you do any of the routes?
Yeah.
Email me some of the routes. I
Oh,
wanna know
yeah,
where they went.
well, they were weird about it. We went out with a guided ride for one day.
Right.